To see a familiar face, a happy face. We're talking about Jon Hope. The album just came out today. Hope all is well. Hey, Jon Hope.
Hey, what's going on? Bekah, Mike D, man. I'm excited to be here. Really, really, this is like a family reunion.
Yeah, really is. It feels like that, and it feels like we're celebrating like a family member, putting out this project, and it's a proud feeling for us here because we've known you for so long, and it's a proud moment for the city of Providence and just for the whole state of Rhode Island in general, man. It really is.
Yeah, yeah, no, it really is, man. I think it's one of those things where when you see somebody that's been grinding and putting in the work and I'm one of those artists that's it's a slow burn, and I love it that way, right? Because I appreciate everything. I think you have nothing to do but champion that person, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Same goes for Boo Boo, Flawless. We're cut from a certain cloth where it wasn't necessarily overnight. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
so when you have that sort of success and people that are close to you get to witness it, it's a win for everyone, not just a Jon Hope project. This is a Rhode Island thing. You know what I mean?
What does the day your album comes out feel like? What goes through your mind?
That's a good question. It's like my birthday. It's like my
Yeah.
birthday. It really is. It's like a birthday, and for me, that's the win. The win is the release. I'm not playing charts. You know what I mean? That's why I released today, as opposed to Friday when it's so inundated. But it really is like a birthday, and I just get to celebrate. I'm up. So it's dope. It's a warm feeling.
So Hope
Yeah,
all is
yeah.
well is the project name. And so the last time you dropped was 2017.
Yeah.
So why so long for 4 years? Because 4 years is kind of a long time.
Yeah, it really is a long time, especially in this landscape where you kind of have to put out music very frequently. But this is my second project under my independent label called Zane Butler, and so I really, right now we're in the attention economy. As much as I'm a big, I'm a pure artist. I understand that we're in the attention economy because there's so many artists, and so I really wanted to be measured with the release. I didn't want to just rush something out. I'm not at that point in my career. And then also too, I'm also a multifaceted artist. I'm a personality. I host. I'm the in-game announcer for Providence College Friars, Big East School. I do a number of different things. So I really wanted to kind of develop that ecosystem so I didn't have to rely fully on music, and that's what a lot of artists burn out from. They don't get the
Mm.
financial, you know, the financial reward.
Aspect of
So
reward, yeah.
yeah, and so they quit, and I understand that. So me, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that, which has allowed me that sort of um, quote unquote longevity. You know what I mean? Like I'm not relying on music as a stream. So it's
And
really
it goes back to what you mentioned before with the slow burn, and you mentioned a couple of guys that we've talked to with Flawless, with Boo Boo Andrade, and you see the work that they've put in. And I think what stands out the most is that they never took and yourself included in this, is that guys like you don't take the time to ask why. You just go out and do it. And then
yeah.
when it gets to that moment, because now you see it on social media. Everybody wants is why. Why is this person holding me back from this? Why? But instead of asking why, just go out and do it, because if you put in the time, the slow burn, the results will always benefit you. And I think that especially with this rollout, man, it's been incredible to see the reaction, and it is the definition of that. It was never asking why; it was just going out and doing it.
Yeah, you got to put the work in, man. And for me, I looked at it as a situation where I wanted to attract. I wanted to increase my value. So I had to get the right people aligned with me and shared my vision, making sure that the product was right. Working with my guy Watts Beats, who executive produced the album, also Danny Keys, a number of different artists. I got Jim Jones on the record. You know what I mean? Like I really wanted to make sure that I put my best foot forward. And so when you do that, people will generally gravitate towards it because they want to stand next to the heat. And so I had to kind of fan that flame, and they rocking with this THS, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool, man.
Yeah. Hope All Is Well, just a great title in general. I was rocking the crew neck on Sunday. Got
Nice.
a lot of compliments, man, and it's because that message is
Yeah.
it just comes off as like, you look at that, you're like, hope all is well, It's just a good feeling because especially with mental health on the forefront of a lot of subjects right now, you just want to make sure all is well, especially with your people and stuff. So, tell us, how did that name come about?
Yo, I'm glad you talked about that. So the thinking behind Hope All Is Well is because I really wanted to value that sentiment. I think we, us three, we value it, right? You just shared how important it is, but we say it so much, right? That sometimes people just like, okay, hope all is well, and then just kind of they don't really take the time to reflect. So this body of work, this album, these 9 songs is the opportunity for me to reflect and do that inventory, like, yo, is all well in my
Mm.
life? You know what I mean? And so I had to really dig deep, man. I come from the projects. I was in, foster care. I really had a colorful background. And so I had to sort of identify these triggers and traumas that I went through, not to mention I became a father. I'm a co-parent, I'm a single father and trying to, figure that whole thing out, you know what I'm saying? So it was really a reflection because, when someone tells you that, when you're on the receiving end, you're like, oh yeah, everything's good, and you just
Mm.
keep it moving. But with this project, I really just paused and was like, man, let's think about this. Is all well in my life? And you know what I mean? And then, and through the music, you'll get that sentiment, and hopefully it'll be a seed planting moment for you to reflect as the listener.
Mm.
Hope All Is Well is the project. It's out today. Now, you did mention John Hope. You're a multifaceted artist. You are an educator. You are the in-house announcer for PC basketball. But you did just mention it. You're a dad, and your daughter Hope. How has she impacted your art?
And Becca, she's impacted me in a way. So for many artists, like especially rappers or whatever, they'll change their tone of their music. If they're talking a certain type of way. And for me, it wasn't really about like changing the tone of the music, but it was about my approach towards my writing. Like now, anything that I put out, I'm this is a legacy play for me. You know what I mean? So I want my whatever content I put out. I want it's a footprint for my daughter to see how her father was thinking and how her father was and whatnot. Like I'm writing and doing my work with that in mind. Like, okay, how is Hope going to receive this? You know what I mean? So it's a legacy play for me.
What a gift. Really,
Yeah,
it is. It's like a living diary. It's
it really
amazing.
is. It really
And
is.
you mentioned mental health, and I'm so glad that we're doing this interview because on a personal level, I want to share something with you. So
Yeah.
I'm a mom as well. You and I became parents around the same
Same
time.
time.
Our daughters are right around the same age, and those first 3 months of a newborn, it's really hard, really
Oh,
tough. And I had a lot of, not unlike most parents, I had a really hard time. And
yeah.
so I would go on Twitter sometimes when Ariel was napping or I was feeding her, and I would see that you would tweet, remember yourself today, or
Don't
take
forget
care of,
about yourself. Yeah, don't
don't
forget
forget
about
about yourself.
that.
And, I don't want to get emotional right now because God knows that's how I am anyway now, especially being a mom. But
Yeah.
that really helped me. It really did.
Wow.
And it really impacted me. And I just wanted to take the time to thank you for that because I know, like you just said, hope all is well. It's just a sentiment we put in emails, right? When we want something from someone.
Right.
Or you see a tweet and you don't know how it's going to impact somebody, but it really helped me. It did. It helped me those really hard mornings where I would say, I just have to get through the day and I have to remember myself today. And
Yes.
so thank you. I really wanted to
Wow.
take the time to make sure I mentioned that.
Wow, thank you, man. That means a lot, man. Seriously, and I think it goes because we're you. I know you very well. We want to put forth good energy. We're givers. We're helpers, right? And so it's very easy to not think about ourselves, right? You know what I mean?
Facts.
And so that's, when I tweet that, I really mean that. Like, don't lose yourself in the course of the day. You know what I mean? And so that means a lot. That means a lot. I
I mean, I
appreciate
was mostly blacked out those first 3 months, but I specifically remember those tweets, so thank you.
it. Yeah. Oh man, that's
It got me
And,
through. Go ahead, Mike.
no, yeah, I was just gonna say with all the positivity and like you said, what we try to do is we try to bring light to people's lives. And the way that we've been blessed, for us, for me and Becca, we like to think, hey, you know what? We like to put a positive spin on things. We like to try to bring a smile to everybody's face. We don't put a smile on everybody's face, but we try. And I'm sure you've come through, similar situations where it's like you're putting all this work in, right? Not with just the music, with everything else you're doing.
yeah.
And how do you react, or how do you handle the ones that have doubted you, or who have maybe tried to put a negative spin on what it is that you're doing?
That's a really good question. So for me now, at today, March 3rd, I would say I'm very certain of myself. But it took me a while to get to realize who I am, because we've been so conditioned to seek external validation. And for me, when I say THS, or like the whole message around what I do, is really about tapping into yourself. And
Mm.
so when you're secure, like now, man, when I hear those naysayers, man, I really look at it as a reflection on them, like that they're projecting. When I hear close family members or friends say, "Yo, you still doing your music thing," as if this is gonna be, as if
Yeah.
there's a finite, or there's some type of end cap on this. It's like, nah, like Nip say, I'm gonna die doing this. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I'm called. This is my calling. And so when I hear those sentiments now today, I don't really, take heed to that. But it took me a while to get to that point. So during my career, especially at the beginning stages, it would affect me. It would affect me. I won't even sit here and lie.
Hmm.
And I
It's
imagine it
tough.
motivates you as well.
Yeah, and it motivated me. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Becca, man, we you know how long I've been doing this, man, and it's good, man. As long as I keep my skin looking good, what I'm saying, and I'm youthful, I'm all right.
Yeah, there is. You have like a Pharrell, Gwen Stefani thing going on where you don't age, and I'm still trying to really figure it out. And you don't have to share your secret, but hope
Some
all is well.
berries, Bobo, juices and berries.
There you go. I love it.
It's 9 songs,
Yeah.
and what is it about the 9 songs? Were there other songs that you recorded, and what was the deal with that?
Well, I mean, listen, I'm gonna say a couple words to you. Illmatic,
Hmm.
Thriller. Those are 9 records. Those are masterpieces. You know what I'm
Yeah.
Hmm.
saying? Just 9 records. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I really wanted to. There's art in brevity. You know what I mean? Like,
For
I
sure.
just wanted to be direct and purposeful with every bar, every
Hmm.
song, every chorus, every beat. You know what I mean? So it was very, very intentional to be brief and concise with the message, and you'll see when you listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
That
Can't
right
wait.
there is the definition of like a body of work that you can have a start and an ending. So especially now in the streaming era, how
Yeah,
many deluxe albums do we need with 45, 50 songs that would have never made it to an album 20 years ago, right?
the
These are
fact.
songs
That's
that would have
a
been
fact.
left on the cutting room floor. They would have never made it, but it's like, they will stream it though. Let's put
Right,
it on the album, I'd rather
right.
have a nine track album that has a message, a beginning and end. Like you said, there's a message to be had in brevity and just get to the point, quality over quantity. I
Yeah.
love that.
That's a fact. Yeah. And that was the intent, man. And I'm serious too. I look at Michael Jackson's Thriller. I look at Illmatic, those types of records, and they were very, quick listens, man, but very impactful. Very impactful.
Replay value high too because
Yeah,
of it.
absolutely.
And aside from Hope Ball as well, that's the project out today. Talk about your hip hop education initiative.
Yeah, the Hope Scholars Initiative is something I'm really proud of. Basically, it's a series of events, programming, curriculum that's centered around validating hip hop culture in the academic space. For me, I worked in hip hop. I mean, I worked in higher ed for a long time. I was a counselor. I'm a professor, and although I was successful, I felt like I had to code switch. I couldn't really be my authentic self. to be, successful. I had to sort of appease to a certain standard. And so I felt like, if I felt that way and I have a salary, I have fortitude, I have the degrees, I can only imagine what students are feeling, particularly young black and brown kids that are coming from the inner city and they come to certain institutions in their first gen. They might think they have to like culturally divorce themselves. You know what I'm saying? So with Hope Scholars Initiative, it's just a creating a space where they could be their authentic self. And so that way they'll be more engaged in their learning. So it's
And
dope.
how can people find out more about
Beautiful
that?
thing.
Yeah, man. You can check us out on Instagram. The Instagram is Hope Scholars, and we have tons of different programs. The Deeper Than Rap program. I just finished a residency at Charette Charter School in Providence, and yeah, going to conferences and this, that, and the third. So it's dope, man. So Hope Scholars on Instagram.
Definitely check that
Amazing.
out. And how can people listen to Hope Ball as well out today?
Yeah, man, on every single DSP, Apple, Tidal, Spotify. And then, we have some bundles and, autographed copies on my website, johnhopepvd.com. So, it's everywhere, Google, Amazon, you know what I mean? And it's a real treat. It's a real treat. So it's a hip hop collector's item, you know what I mean?
This has been a real treat, and we could not thank you enough for coming on with us on the Hot Morning Show with Bekah and Mike D and celebrating Hope Ball as well, which is a fantastic project. We cannot wait to dive into it and listen, and thank you for your message as well of just remembering yourself and taking care of yourself today because it is important. Jon Hope, we appreciate you.
Yo, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.